Thanks so much for joining the session today. We're so excited to be presenting this webinar to you. My name is James Leggett. I'm part of the Web and Customer Success team here at Biozone. I manage our digital solutions and work with teachers around the world to ensure a successful delivery of our products. And today I'm going to give a little bit of an introduction to the Teacher Toolkit here at Biozone. Now, before we dive into the content, just wanted to give a quick bit of housekeeping. If you have any questions throughout the session, please feel free to enter them within the chat. Then at the end of the session, we'll go through those questions and answer them in detail. So with that out of the way, let's dive into the Teacher Toolkit. So what we're covering today is we're going to give an overview of the Teacher Toolkit as well as each of those components that make it up. We're going to show how you can use those resources within the differentiated classroom and how you can utilize that Teacher Toolkit within your learning management system. So here's a quick look at the Teacher Toolkit here. At the heart and core of the Teacher's Toolkit, at the heart and core of the Biozone solution is the Student Edition. Now, the Teacher Toolkit is the way that we as a publisher support you as teachers in the delivery of our content to help engage your students and to further their learning. So just a quick little introduction to each one. We have the presentation media, the ebooks platform, the digital Teachers Edition, test bank, question library, resource hub, and the Teachers Edition in print. Now, as you can tell, it's quite a few different resources, and we're going to go into each one in a lot more depth now. Before we do so, I am going to be using the living earth as my example throughout this presentation, but I just want to show you that it is available for all of our resources. As you can see there, all of our NGSS resources contain the Teacher Toolkit, and then unfortunately our AP series doesn't contain a test bank, and an AP Biology presentation media is coming soon. So, first, let's take a look at the ebooks platform. The ebooks platform has been our main delivery of Biozone digital content, that's the Student Edition and the Teachers Edition, for the past few years now. And it's a great resource and a great platform for you to be able to access your title wherever you go. Now, we do this through a few different formats. We have the ebook Lite, which is the more affordable version. We have the ebook Plus, which has the full featured Student Edition. We have the ebook Teachers Edition, which is the Teachers Edition in digital format, which is a school license add-on. And let's dive into each one. So the ebook Lite is a great option if you're looking for a very affordable way to view the content. It allows you to view your work text wherever you go, whether that be on an iPad, on a Chromebook. No matter where you are, you can access your content. We also have a text-to-speech reader, as well as ways to interact with the text, such as notes, highlights, and bookmarks, the ability to zoom into the page, and then simple drawing tools. Now, our ebook Plus is the ebook Lite plus a few extra features. Now, this is perfect for any hybrid teaching environment. If you have students that can't make it into class, whether that be to exposure or they're just generally sick, they are still able to complete the work, they're still able to view the content wherever they go. So again, this is all the features within the ebook Lite, plus a few extra. We have direct access to the resource hub, which we'll go into a little bit more detail soon. It has the ability for students to submit embedded questions, so answers to the embedded questions within the book, and that allows them to create a record of work. So not only can they access the ebook wherever they go, they'll be able to access their record of work wherever they go as well. And then finally, we also provide offline resources. So any questions that require graphing or labeling or drawing of any kind, we provide in PDF format, which then you can distribute to your students in a way that you best see fit. And then finally, of the three formats, we have the ebook Teachers Edition. This is provided free with a classroom purchase, has the model answers in place, direct access to the resource hub, and an embedded classroom guide. This is a great resource for teachers to be able to learn how to best implement their title within the classroom, as well as read through the content so they can plan their lessons. In the Biozone eBooks platform, we do have the teacher workflow in place, so teachers are able to assign homework to their students. Students are then able to submit responses to the questions within the book. You as a teacher can grade or view their responses. Not every moment is a grading moment. So you could just be viewing it as their record of work and just to gauge where they are. And then finally, we offer performance reports as well. As I've mentioned before, a big part of our ebooks is to make them as accessible as possible so students can access them wherever they go. Now, we do this through the Biozone Reader mobile app. This is available on both Android and iOS devices and allows students to access the ebook on their tablet device with an extra feature for them to be able to download that ebook onto their tablet. This allows them to view the content, again, wherever they go, but they can view it offline, or if they've got terrible internet connection, this is a great method for them. And then we also offer integration so that your students are able to access the content using similar services that your school or district already uses. For example, we have rostering and single sign-on integrations with Clever, ClassLink, and OneRoster. This allows your rosters to be easily synced into the platform and for your students to have single sign-on, which makes it even easier for them to get on and start enjoying their content. Then we also have learning management system integration. So if you see yours on the list there, Canvas, Schoology, Blackboard, Moodle, what we're able to do is we're able to load the content into your LMS, into your learning management system, so they can view their ebook without even leaving their learning management system. So that was the ebooks platform, and I've also gone over the Teachers Edition as well. Now let's dive into each of the different resources that remain within the Teacher Toolkit. Now, within these parts of the Teacher Toolkit, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth into the differentiation, how you can use the resources with each of your different student types, whether that's a struggling student, an English language learner, a capable student, or a gifted and talented student. So first up, we have the Resource Hub. This is a platform with curated digital resources from the authors here at Biozone. We've done the hard work for you. We've found resources that complement the content within our books well. These are third-party resources which support the content of the work text and help engage your students with the material. And this is done through a vast amount of different resources. We have articles, videos, 3D models, spreadsheets, animations, games. There's a whole wide variety and really should be explored. And just like our ebooks, we want this to be as accessible as possible, not just for our teachers, but for our students as well, in case they wish to explore themselves. So, how to access, there's a link at the beginning of their book, whether that's a print book or an ebook. They can find the code, enter it, and they're able to access the resource. Or there's a very helpful icon within the ebook plus as well as the ebook Teachers Edition, as I've noted there, which will take them directly not just to the Resource Hub, but the resources attributed to that activity. So it's very easy for them to find the resources that are attributed to it. And then also you can copy and bookmark that URL for easy access. Maybe you take the URL and you enter it into your Google Classroom so your students are able to easily access it from there. But we can go into a little bit more detail on that in just a moment. And I've got a very short video here about, very short video here of what the Resource Hub looks like. As you can see, there's a wide variety of resources with 3D models as well. These 3D models can contain animations, annotations, and they really help students get involved with the content with a more hands-on approach. You'll also notice within the Resource Hub that you'll find resources that are tagged as gifted and talented, as well as teacher resources as well. And that leads me on to my next part, which is the differentiation you'll find within the Resource Hub. These are the opportunities that you will get within the Resource Hub to help your differentiated classroom. For struggling students, you can provide extra content for them to draw conclusions from. You can find translatable and subtitled content, which is perfect for ELL students that are transitioning into the English language. You can engage all of your students or your capable students with a variety of resource formats. So again, 3D models, videos, articles, whichever way they prefer to learn. And you can further your gifted and talented student learning with those recommended resources that are tagged. So you'll find much more lengthier articles, for example, for gifted and talented students so they can further their learning. Next up, we have the Digital Teachers Edition. This is the Teachers Edition with the added feature of Show Hide Model Answers. What this allows you to do is allows you to introduce an activity to your students, whether that be on the projector, interactive whiteboard, or sharing your screen with your students. And it allows you to discuss questions and review model answers with your students as well. Simply show the activity on your projector, and then go through the answers with your students, discuss and collaborate. And within differentiation, that is so important. It drives collaboration among all of your students to encourage that peer support. Gifted and talented students can help the struggling students, for example. They can all collaborate to form answers and which benefit all of them. It allows them to discuss and answer group-based questions, as well as review the model answers within a classroom environment. Next, we have the presentation media. This is one of my favorite parts of the teacher toolkit. These are fully editable presentation slides, and they allow you as teachers to deliver the content in a bit of a different way and an engaging way as well. You can edit the slides to suit your teaching styles and methods. They're fully editable, so if you want to change the content, change the language, add your own content, you're able to easily do so. Which gives you which empowers you with our content, a lot of flexibility with the content as well. You can, like the Digital Teachers Edition, present this to your to your students using a projector, an interactive whiteboard, or simply share your screen. Or you can also share the slides with your students for their own note-taking and revision. So here's just a very quick video of what the presentation media looks like. So you can see they are absolutely beautiful slides with great imagery, just like what you would find within the books themselves. And you might find as well, as you're exploring the content, that there's actually more, the presentation media, there's actually more content involved within the slides. This is because the authors might have found that the content didn't fit the scope of the content that they were working on, or it didn't fit the design of the book itself, and so they've entered their extra information within the presentation media. Oh, let me get to the next page, please. There we go. So presentation media. Differentiation is a big plus within presentation media. You're able to easily change the content and vocabulary to suit those ELL students and your struggling students. So if your struggling students have a lower English level, for example, you can change some of the vocabulary. You can also switch up the delivery of materials to all students, so it keeps your content engaging. And then you can further your gifted and talented students' learning with that extra content we were just talking about. So share the slides with them, tell them to explore the content more. Next, we have test banks. These are testing the DCI content within each chapter of the book. It allows you to assign more traditional extension questions to your students. You may find as you're exploring the Biozone books that there are more essay-type or essay-type questions. This allows you to provide traditional questions such as true, false, multiple choice, fill in the blanks, for example. These are provided in both general education and credit recovery test banks, and also they're formatted in a way which can be ingested directly into your learning management system, as well as plain text format for you to edit. Now, in terms of differentiation, that credit recovery test bank is fantastic for your English language learner students and your struggling students, and then the test banks in general help build understanding and habit of your students. The general education test banks would be a great resource for your core students and your gifted and talented students as well. Finally, in the teacher toolkit, this is the latest in our teacher toolkit. We have the question library. What we've done is we've exported all the questions from all of our Biozone activities. Now, this is a new resource that we created as a result of the pandemic. Teachers wanted to be more empowered with our content to be able to use the questions in a way that best suited them and their students. And so we've delivered. This allows you to edit the questions to fit your teaching style and your students' learning levels. You can mix and match the questions from different activities. And it is formatted in a way just like the test banks where you can ingest them directly into your learning management system, as well as in plain text. So in terms of differentiation, this gives you a lot of empowerment as a teacher. It allows you to easily change the content and vocabulary to suit your ELL and struggling students, much in the same way as the presentation media. It allows you to deliver the Biozone questions through familiar methods to all of your students. For example, you could take the questions from the Biozone question library, and you can add it into such systems as Kahoot or Quizlet, or into Google Forms, in a method that's more familiar to them so they can engage with it better. And then finally, for our gifted and talented students, this empowers you to take the questions from the Biozone title and then build custom assessments for them. Now, that's all parts of the Teacher Toolkit. Let's take a look how you can utilize that Teacher Toolkit within your own learning management system. So here I have a quick graphic of how you could take some of the resources and put them within Canvas. So what we have here is we have a direct link to our ebook. We have the presentation media slides available. We have question library questions, some that we've assigned to all of our students, and others only to our gifted and talented students. So you're already seeing that differentiation there. We've also added resources from the Resource Hub, which they can explore themselves, and I've also added questions from the test bank that they can use to revise and further their habit and understanding. Within Google Classroom, we can do very much a similar thing. We can provide a direct link to the ebook. We can provide a video from our Resource Hub to engage our students. We can grab the questions from the question library and use Google Forms as a way for students to enter in their answers. We have added the presentation media slides for this activity, and we've also added the test banks for the extension questions for this activity. So as you can see, within Canvas and Google Classroom are some of the major ones that you can do so, but you can absolutely do this in other learning management systems, such as Blackboard, Schoology, and also you could use such systems as Microsoft Teams. All it takes is the power of your imagination in a way, and taking the resources and using the way that best befits you. So that was the Teacher Toolkit, and I'll give you a little bit of a summary of what we've covered today. Within the Teacher Toolkit, we're guiding teachers in successfully delivering Biozone material. Through our Teachers Edition, for example, and through therein the Classroom Guide, you're able to explore how you can implement Biozone in your classroom for the best effect. We also offer a wide range of unique resources to suit any classroom that suits any differentiated student as well, whether that's an ELL student, a struggling student, a capable student, and of course a gifted and talented student as well. And then we're also empowering teachers with fully editable options for flexible teaching solutions. So you can take the content from Biozone, edit them in a way that best suits you and your students, and then deliver them in a way that best suits you and your students, whether that's through your own learning management system or through other digital tools that you've come to prefer over time. Now at Biozone, we don't stop innovating, especially within any area. And so you can expect a few extra things coming up this year. You can find improved ELL support coming up. We will be providing text to translation to 17 different languages. And we're also providing Spanish glossaries of our texts. We're also providing additional support with pacing guides. We've heard a lot of feedback from our teachers, and so we are implementing those. And then finally, we're also consolidating and integrating the Teacher Toolkit into a new digital space called Biozone World. As you may have noticed during this presentation, all the different parts of the Teacher Toolkit kind of exist in their own space: presentation media, Biozone ebooks, Digital Teachers Edition. So we're bringing that all into a single digital space under a single umbrella. So it's easy for teachers to be able to find those resources and be able to deliver them to their students as well. Thank you so much for joining us. And now we'll head on over to questions. I'll hand over to my other presenter who will be able to answer the questions from there. Thank you so much, everybody.